Like the word environmentalist. Well, how do you feel about that? I mean, do you think it's what kind of feelings you have when you hear that word? Actually, is that, do you think it's a good thing? It's a bad thing? What would you put on the environmentalist? And what should such a person do that would be good and positive for the planet and climate change? Do you think?
I don't think that there's one set definition for being an environmentalist. I think rather than using labels and calling everybody an environmentalist, just take little actions, take pride in taking steps to try and save the environment.
The whole issue with labels is that you create a division. It's everybody in the in-group and everybody in the out-group, while theoretically it should be about changing the perception. We should all want a good environment. If you bring it down to what matters to everybody, to something that's close to them and that impacts them, we all want the Earth to still continue going on, even if we're dead in 60 years.
What else do you think we can do to really also push real change?
I think it's important to show the result of one person.
I think it's kind of rather disheartening sometimes that, we're encouraged to commit these sustainable activities, and at the same time you see governments or multinational corporations not taking the issue as seriously as we are. At the end of the day, it takes everybody. This is a collective effort.
I think if you make the pressure equal on individuals and companies, then it will also be seen as more fair.
I think the government and the bigger corporations need to take a responsibility to help really facilitate, so individuals can really do everything in their power to, if it's recycling or transport, there need to be the things in place in order for people to do those things.
We used to have the trash bin where you throw all the trash. That was €7 for the entire container. Now they made that twice as expensive, but all the separated waste is free. Like if you separate cardboard, plastic, then you don't need to pay for it. We saw in 1 year that amount of separated waste in our neighborhood has more than tripled. Everybody's separating it. And that just happened just because they increased the price of one, and it still was done in a way that was perceived as fair, because everybody can separate, and it saves you money at the end, so now everybody's separating.
It's quite daunting thinking about it, and you get that, I probably get the same feeling that Frida gets, that real anxiety of what can I do as one person to change this? It's really daunting, but maybe if you have as simple as like a checklist, if you did this before you left in the morning, or you did this at home, this will make this much of a change. I think that kind of breaks it down and makes it a little less scary, because I think sometimes when you're faced with such a big problem, you almost freeze rather than take action. So I think simplifying it step by step would be really helpful.
Because there was mention of fear, of really action to be done, and really moving. I was wondering if each of you have already started, like having conversation within your social network, yours, family, friends, and how do you approach those kind of conversation with them?
It also depends where you're from and what you're used to. I grew up, as I said, in the Caribbean, where we don't separate trash. That wasn't the thing, because on the island we couldn't recycle it, so it would all go into landfill anyways. And then I moved to the Netherlands, and here downstairs I have 4 different garbage bins, because we're used to separating into 4 things. And that's the norm. In the Netherlands, 4 things is the norm, and that's normal. So that comes with it. And it's also, I think, important what's available. I can relatively cheaply get green energy here, so I choose for green energy. But I know in some places that's not possible at all.
Think about it, I'd buy a lot of clothes and always have a new outfit for any occasion, whereas now I'm a lot more conscious of actually you can reuse the clothes you have and you don't have to always buy something new. And I think that's with everything. So I think consumption's definitely going down, and I'm a lot more aware of you don't always have to have the latest or the newest thing, and I think that's definitely helping.
Good point is to bring that it's doable. It's just the point that it's doable. It's a huge challenge. It's not doable within 5 years, but we construct this crop in 150 years. We can let ourselves 50 years of work and of doing the process. It's really doable, and this feeling of we can do something is the most important, because solutions are here. They're everywhere, the solution.